everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So today we are building in Oasis Springs, which is something I rarely ever do. I've only actually built here a couple of times where I did a couple of trailers, but other than that, I've pretty much just built here for the save file. So today's no exception. We are building on a 40 by 30 and this build will be for the save file. So it's the 40 by 30 that's across from the land grabs lot where I haven't built just yet, but I think the land grabs house will be the next EA household house that I'm going to build. So I'll get on that as soon as inspiration strikes, but for now we are just building a family house that's not for any specific kind of family. At least I feel like this house is, I don't know, I don't really know what kind of family lives here because it's so different. Like it's very, you'll see that once we get to the interior, it's very colorful, even though we're building a contemporary house. And usually with my contemporary houses, I like to keep everything a little bit toned down. I like to keep the clutter to a minimum. I also like to not necessarily put decorations everywhere. I just like to tone it down just a little bit compared to what I usually do. But for this one, I did go a little bit crazy. There's a lot of breathing space in the house. There's a lot of open space, if that makes any sense. But there's definitely a lot of decorations, and I really like how this house turned out, so I hope you guys like it too. And I also hope that you guys like landscaping, because there's a lot of it around this house. I did have to cut a fair amount of it out because, so I spent basically from Thursday evening and the entire day yesterday just building this house. I ended up having 4.5 hours of footage. So that may sound like I've just been recording for 4.5 hours, but I've actually sat here and planned everything out. So when I build, I don't just sit here and record. I stop and then I plan stuff, and then I record for a little bit while I'm building, and then I stop it again and I plan more stuff out. So I'm not just sitting here recording and deleting and so on, because that makes editing very tedious to me. Like it makes the editing process a lot longer than it should be, like longer than it needs to be. So I tend to just stop recording and start recording when I kind of know what I want to do with the build. So I might end up with 4.5 hours of footage, but this house is taking me pretty much the entirety yesterday to do. So I build basically the shell Thursday, so what you're seeing right now is from Thursday, and then both decorating and also landscaping I did yesterday. I finished it yesterday at 3 a.m. and then I've just been editing today, and also I had to go and get a lamp, so I actually got some light in my living room now because I had none before, so that's nice to get out of the way. But anyways, so, but other than that, just been sitting here editing and kind of struggling a little bit with the thumbnail as well, because the lighting in Oasis Springs is not my favorite. And also the lighting was hitting the back of the build, and I don't like to use backyards as my thumbnails. I like to show you guys the front of the house on my thumbnails, so I had to figure something out with that as well. But everything is good now, everything is fine. It's just been a long video to do. That's also why I had nothing going up on the channel yesterday. Let's see if I can figure out how to speak English today. It's going okay so far, but anyways. But I had a lot of fun with the landscaping for this one. I hope that you guys like the backyard. You'll see that at the very end. I did something that I don't think I've done before. It's not like it's anything super special, or there's no like waterfall or anything like that. I just had a lot of fun with the pool area, and yeah, I like how it turned out. It's very, very lush, so I hope you guys like landscaping and plants and all that stuff. But yeah. So this house turned out to be for 4 Sims, I think. So 2 parents, 1 teen, and also a kid. There should be 3 bathrooms. So the kid has an ensuite just because there was room for it. And then the parents and also the teen have to share a bathroom on the 2nd floor, but they do have, actually no, we got 4 bathrooms. Yeah, because there are 2 proper big bathrooms on the 2nd floor, and then also a smaller one for the kid. And there was also a bigger bathroom on the ground floor. I don't remember if I put in laundry machines anywhere. Actually, now that I'm thinking about it, I might have forgotten to put in laundry machines for a change, but you can definitely fit those in somewhere in the house. Like that should be easy to find place for, because you could also just like remove a counter in the kitchen and fit them in there, so that shouldn't be a problem. I just apparently forgot for some reason. I don't really know. It's been a while since I've forgotten laundry machines, but it was bound to happen at some point. So anyways, sorry about that. And then other than that, they have a nice big spacious kitchen. They have a dining room which has room for 6 Sims as well, so they can have 2 guests over and eat if they want to. They also have a big nice spacious living room, and then they actually have this very big hall space on the ground floor, because I didn't want to place any random walls. I didn't want to cut off the space or anything, so it's just a nice, very spacious hallway basically. But I don't know, I like open plans for contemporary houses. I feel like it sort of fits the vibe of the houses, and that is definitely what we're going for today. Also because there's this kind of like open plan, like what you call that, mezzanine level? Is that what you call that? When you can look down, like there's a balcony on the 2nd floor, you can look down to the ground floor, that sort of thing. So you can also see there's a chandelier above the front door as well. And I really like how that looks in contemporary houses as well. I think it adds a bit of a luxurious vibe to the interior. I also really like the open levels, like you can look down from the 2nd floor onto the ground floor. It's just nice and airy and open, and definitely luxurious in my mind at least. So I was having a lot of fun with that. I also added some of these glass inserts that we got with Island Living. So when you're walking on the balcony on the 2nd floor, you can actually look down, which I had a lot of fun with, and I know that it's a little bit scary, but I like how it looks. And I actually also added 4, I think you saw that on cam, but I also added 4 glass inserts on the roof. So not if you're standing on the roof, because why the heck would you be standing on the roof? But you can look down, like it adds a lot of light to the hallway basically, and you can look down onto both floors from the roof. And yeah, I think it just makes everything a little bit more open as well, and I like it. So, but yeah, it had been a while since the last time I built anything contemporary, so I thought it was about time. I've also gotten a fair amount of requests for contemporary houses. I know that a lot of you guys like suburban houses, but like more traditional or craftsman or farmhouses even possibly. But a lot of the times I feel like, yeah, I get a lot of requests to do more contemporary houses because I really don't do a lot of them. But it's also just because I feel like often with contemporary houses, the interiors get a little bit too cold for my liking. I like woods, I like brown, I like color, and a lot of the time with contemporary houses, I'll go for a more black, white, gray color scheme for the interior, maybe a little bit of blue here and there, maybe a little bit of yellow. So for this house, I wanted it to be a little bit different in the interior. I was also kind of inspired by the landscaping surrounding this lot. We are building in Oasis Springs as well, which was also something that inspired the color choices in this house as well. But on both sides of this lot, actually, there's this kind of grass patch where you'll see a lot of flowers. There are some red flowers and some purple flowers and stuff. So for the landscaping itself, I decided to add just a lot of flowers. You'll see a lot of red flowers, especially because I just like that it adds warmth, and yeah, it looks good with the house. Plus, there's a little bit of brown on the exterior of the house, which I brought into the house. As you can see, I went with brown wooden floors, and for a lot of the furniture as well, I also went with brown actually. So I decided to add a lot of color as well. We're mainly going for yellow and blue still because it is one of my favorite color schemes. I mention it all the time because I like those two together. It's what I'm going for in my own home as well, even though it's going to be a little bit more toned down compared to what I do in The Sims. There's only going to be like small touches of blue and small touches of yellow, but I will be adding just a little bit of color in my interior, so it's going to be those two colors because I just love how they look together. So I decided to go for that. Also because yellow and blue go really well with brown in my opinion as well. So I don't know exactly why, but there's something really nice about blue and brown together. I don't know why, but anyways. So the color scheme here in the living room was inspired by the rug that I'm going with. I use this rug so much, especially for contemporary houses, because the patterns on them or the motifs on them are a little bit more, I feel like they just fit either mid-century modern houses or contemporary interiors really well. And also the color combinations. There is another one that's sort of, it's not like a red, it's sort of like a slightly pinkish red. I think you call it cerise or something, but it's mixed with blue as well, and I like those two colors together as well. But I often go for the blue and also the yellow color combinations because it just looks so good. So yeah, I brought that into the hallway space here. I think I ended up cutting out a little bit of the furnishing here in the hallway space because this video is very long in case you haven't noticed. Like I said before, I ended up with 4.5 hours of footage. So once everything was sped up to 5.5, which is what I edited, like I'll speed up everything to 5.5 or 550%. And then I'll edit because then my editing program won't lag too much. And then when I'm done cutting out all the stuff that I want to cut out, I speed them up to either 600 or 620. So just a little bit of technical talk. If you guys do YouTube, maybe that'll help you a little bit as well. I don't really know. But once I'd sped up everything to 550, I sat with, like, the video was 50 minutes long, so I had a lot to cut out. And yeah, I decided to just cut out one of the lounge areas in the hallway space and also all the furnishing around the front door, for example. But there's a little bit. There's 2 chairs with a hallway table or whatever that thing is called, and also a poof over in one of the corners in the hallway. And I also managed to spend like 10 minutes trying to figure out what rug to put somewhere in the hallway. I don't really know. It took me a long time. I just couldn't get it right. I don't really know. And then there's also, you know, just the usual around the front door. And that's about it, actually. I think there is another, did I do that on camera? I don't really know, but there's another lounge area under the chair or under the stairs, because I thought that would be really cozy. They could either sit there with a book or just sit there and chat together or something like that, you know, just hang out. I think these small nooks under staircases are so cozy, like just, yeah, cozy. So I ended up putting another lounge area over there. So they do have these small nooks or lounge areas in the hallway, but the hallway is really big. I also just wanted to make sure that it would be easy for your Sims to navigate through the house. So it's just very open. But yeah, in here we got the living room. So they do have a big TV here. They have a fireplace, even though I don't think they're going to need it, but they have it just in case. We are in Oasis Springs, like I said before, so it's probably going to be warm all year around, but you never know. It could suddenly start snowing. Actually, I think that happened to me. Yeah, one of the first times I was in Oasis Springs. I was building in Oasis Springs right after, what's it called, Seasons came out, and it started snowing, and everyone was like, everyone on Twitter had kept saying that they hadn't even seen it rain in Oasis Springs, and I got snow, and I was like, what in the world is going on? Like, why am I getting hit by snow in Oasis Springs? It's the freaking desert. So that was a little bit funny, but it turned out that I had mysterious weather, so that's why it started snowing, because it was supposed to be a little bit weird. So, yeah, but other than that one time, I don't think I've experienced snow in Oasis Springs, but you never know. It could get cold and your Sims want to snuggle up by the fireplace or something, so I didn't want to disappoint them by not giving them the luxury, like the option to do that. So one thing I knew, or one thing I think about the parents in this house, the adults, is that one of them works in business, but I think they're kind of into nature, like they just appreciate nature. So they have a lot of, like, that was mainly because they had a lot of plants around the house, and also because there's a lot of these different nature elements to the interior. There's a lot of brown, a lot of wood, and again, a lot of plants. So I also ended up using some of those fitness is what it's called, fitness stuff pack pictures around the house. They have these sort of nature motifs on them, so I thought they would be fitting. And I just remembered because I was looking at the study, the office room, and I put one of those pictures up. I was like, let's put a wine glass picture here and a nature picture on the other side. So there's a wine glass picture to signify that they're into like fine dining. They possibly have a lot of money. They live in a big contemporary house. They kind of look like, yeah, they would have a lot of money. Like it's a wealthy kind of family. And therefore, I think one of them works in business. And because you earn a lot of money if you work in business, obviously. I don't really know if it's like that in real life. I don't know anybody who works in business. But in The Sims, in my head, they earn a lot of money from working in business, especially if they're like top tier or top rank or whatever that's called. So, and then other than that, I wanted the other picture to kind of look like they'd have it hanging there to be inspired by nature and stuff. So I took one of the fitness stuff pack pictures and hung it next to the wine glass. I thought that was a little bit funny. I don't know, I have a bad sense of humor, but anyways. So yeah, that's what I think about. Yeah, that's what I think about the parents. Maybe that was one of the reasons they decided to go with this house as well, because it does come with a lot of landscaping. Like there is a lot of maintenance to do in the backyard especially. So one of the parents at least would have to be very into taking care of plants and just greenery and all that stuff. So I think I could definitely see them being very into like plants and nature and that sort of thing, but still be very like, we want a perfect home, we want luxury, and that's why they live in a sort of fancier house and not out in the woods somewhere. Not saying you can't have fancy houses in the woods, because you definitely can, but the houses that I build in the woods are mostly cottages and stuff, like a little bit run down, very rustic, that sort of thing. So you guys get where I'm going with this? So yeah, this is the parents' bedroom. So these headboards, or this headboard, just one singular headboard, is made out of a sign that came with Dine Out. It's not a trick that I came up with. I've seen many people do this before. I don't know who came up with it, but it's basically a sign that, yeah, came with Dine Out. I've used it a couple of times because I really love that brown swatch that I'm using here. I think it fits this house perfectly. Like the tone is just perfect. They have their own little walk-in wardrobe and also another dresser here, a chair, and that's actually about it. So I didn't have a lot of space to deal with in their room. I think I even gave them the smallest one. I think if I gave them the kids' bedroom, they'd probably have a little bit more space and also have their own bathroom. But the kids' bedroom was like how do you say that? The windows were placed in a way that made it a little bit difficult to put in a double bed without having to place it in front of a window. So I didn't want to put the parents' bedroom in there because I'd have to put the bed in front of a window, and I just hate that. I hate placing stuff in front of windows unless it's a couch or a chair or something like that. Maybe even not a dresser, but a desk. Actually, a dresser could go as well, but not one of those very tall ones, a very small kind of dresser. I'd be fine with that. But a bed, definitely no. No bookcases either, or any bigger wardrobe, closet, or fridges, or stoves, or anything like that. I can't handle like bigger stuff in front of windows. I feel like you're just, even TVs, I don't like placing TVs in front of windows, because what's the point in placing these big, beautiful windows that it let in a lot of light, and then you're just covering it up with stuff like furniture and stuff? It doesn't make much sense to me, so I prefer to just, like, it's fine if they're placed next to the window, as with the teen's bed here, but literally right in front of the window, like up against the window, I don't like that. So would you call that a pet peeve? Like, I don't know, is pet peeves are something that annoys you? Or I don't really know what pet peeves are. Let me know. Is that a pet peeve? Like me not liking placing stuff in front of windows, like bigger furniture pieces in front of windows? Is that a pet peeve? Is that my pet peeve? I don't really know. Let me know. Anyways, like fridges and stoves and TVs and stuff like that. Is that a pet peeve? Let me know. But anyways, we are working on the teen's bedroom now. So I feel like this teen is going to be an actor at some point or an actress, and they're kind of working their way up the sort, like they want to be a celebrity but mainly do acting, but right now they're working on social media, which is why they have this streaming table or a vlogging table or video making table. I don't really know what to call this thing. So that's how they're kind of trying to make their way in that world. So yeah, I placed a couple of movie posters above the bed. They're kind of framed up by this light frame that's really difficult to use actually, because I want to be able to place a mirror inside of that light frame and have it fit perfectly, because I've seen mirrors like that in real life that have this sort of light frame, like light bulb frame around the mirror. Am I making sense? But we don't really have that in The Sims, and we don't have a mirror that fits that light frame perfectly, unfortunately. So far, I think I've used it for combining a couple of mirrors before, but usually I just put pictures in it because I just use it as a picture frame basically. But it's cool. It's just a little bit difficult to use. But they have a couple of movie posters above the bed because that I thought that would make it look like the teen likes movies. They want to be an actor, they want to make it big and all that sort of stuff. So we have moved on to the kids' bedroom. I like how this kids' bedroom turned out. It's definitely not the most cluttered kids' bedroom I've done before, but they also had a little bit more extra space compared to some of my latest kids' bedrooms. So they do have everything they should need in here, though I think I managed to fit in a journal as well in here. I think I forgot one in the teens bedroom actually, sorry about that, but you can definitely place one on the bedstand next to the double bed in there and it should be fine. The teen doesn't have a desk either because the streaming table takes up so much space, so I couldn't fit in a dress as well, but they'll have to do their homework somewhere else in the house. There's plenty of places to sit and do your homework, so I think the teen will be fine. But yeah, the kid here is definitely spoiled. I think the teen's bedroom is bigger, but it's a really big bedroom for a kid, at least according to my standards it is, so. But yeah, they should have everything they need, like I said before. They have a plushie, a bed, a wardrobe, a desk, and toys, of course, and also one of those big doll houses that take up a heck of a lot of space, but I fit it in anyways. It's in front of the window, so I thought it would be fitting that they had this sort of empty space over in the corner where the windows were, so the dollhouse, I think I sized it down once because the dollhouse is like the standard size for the dollhouses are just way too big in my opinion, so I just like to say size them down. I almost said face them down. I don't know what that means. Anyways, I like to size them down just once or twice so they don't take up that much space. So it fit perfectly over there in the corner in front of the windows and doesn't block the light too much. But yeah, anyways, moved on to the exterior. So the rest of this video will be just me doing basically landscaping here at the front of the house. This probably took me the longest because I had to figure out exactly what plants to use. I went back like twice, I think, and swapped out some of the plants with flowers first, and then I went back again and swapped those flowers out with flowers that I found among the world objects. So, because I looked around the landscaping surrounding this lot and I was trying to find inspiration for what to do and stuff because I'm not really good at landscaping when it comes to desert areas. I don't really know what to do when there is sand and stuff. It just kind of confuses me a little bit. I'm Scandinavian. We don't have desert, okay? We have forests and grass and fields and definitely no desert whatsoever. We have snow and grass and that's basically it. So anyways, I was trying to get some inspiration because I am clueless. So I was looking at the surrounding landscaping and I saw that they had these sort of grass patches with different colored flowers on them. They had lilac and also red, but I couldn't find them among the normal plants because I didn't really feel like going through all the world objects because there are so many different objects in the world objects catalog. So I was a bit lazy and just went with the base game flowers to start out with. But unfortunately, the base game flowers didn't come in the right colors, so I started out using purple, and then that annoyed me because they didn't match the surrounding landscaping, so I had to go back into the World Objects catalog and chase down the red flowers that matched the surrounding landscaping. So in the end, it matches the surrounding landscaping, but it definitely did not do that at the start. I'm sorry about that. Okay, I should just get on with it at the start and not like stop being lazy when it comes to landscaping. Not that I feel like I'm lazy when it comes to landscaping, it's just world objects, okay? We have like, I have 1,000 because I have all the packs. Actually, I have more than 1,000 because we got a lot of new world objects with Rim of Magic as well. So I possibly have like 1,100 or 1,050 or something world objects. I have a lot to go through. I did filter it by base game because I was reminded that Oasis Springs came with the base game. So fortunately, that made it a little bit easier to find the flowers, the correct flowers. You can see me placing them down right here. So I found the purple ones first, and then I found these red ones instead of the pink ones that I was using before. So, but yeah, still with the base game, we did get a lot of world objects. So I also feel like this landscaping is a little bit messy. I don't mind it too much, but I could definitely see why it would be a little bit too much for some people possibly. I know that there are a couple of you guys out there that do prefer a little bit more minimalistic landscaping, but personal opinion, I like to just go overboard. I like lots of flowers. I don't want everything to look super realistic. I like that it's a game and we can have a lot of fun with it. So I just go crazy, basically. And today was no exception, or this build is no exception. There's a lot of landscaping going on. I really hope you guys like how this pool turned out. I had a lot of fun with it. So I basically sat down. I actually made the backyard first once, and then I didn't like how it turned out, so I deleted everything again. And then that's possibly why it took me so long to record this as well, because this backyard is really big, okay? There was a lot of space to fill out, and then I had to go back and just delete everything because I didn't like it. So that happened anyways. And then I sat here, I was looking at this big empty space, didn't really know what to do with it. I just talked about not liking putting in big pools in a recent build because I usually don't. But I figured if I made this pool like huge and then not necessarily just a rectangle or a square or something like that, if I made it a little bit more organically shaped, like not just sort of random shaped, if that makes any sense, it would be a little bit more interesting to look at rather than just having this big rectangular pool, you know? So I decided to do that. I decided to go for it. And I had a lot of fun with it. So yes, they do have a huge pool. And I don't know if it's inspired by anything, by the way. I feel like I have this picture in my mind of some sort of celebrity's backyard, and they have this big pool, and there's a fountain, and, or not a fountain, but like a waterfall, and they have big cliffs and stuff, but I don't know whose it is. But it's just stuck in my head. So I was maybe slightly inspired by that a little bit. But yeah, I had a lot of fun with this pool. So I hope you guys like it. I end up basically sizing up a lot of the rocks that we have, and I line up this, or not, I don't line it up because I mixed it with a lot of the plants. As you can see, we're using some of the flowers that came with Island Living as well, because they have this really nice red swatch that I'm using right here, and also a lot of the flowers that I'm using at the front yard. But I did turn it up just a little bit. I went a little bit overboard for the backyard. I did just add a little bit more landscaping for the backyard compared to the front yard. So that's also why I'm like, I hope you guys like landscaping because there's a lot of it. So yeah, as you can see right here, we're using the red flowers again. Some of these, I don't know what those are called, but plants. We're just using a lot of plants, and then we're basically lining up the plants with big rocks that I am sizing up once or twice, and I'm also adding some of the water spewing frogs, or water spewing frogs. Is that how you say that? I don't know, but they're sort of fountain frogs or something. So I don't really use those very often, but I thought it would be fitting for this pool. So I really like how it turned out. I hope the Sims can swim in it because there's a lot going on around it, but I don't see why they wouldn't be able to. And I hope your Sims will have a lot of fun in this pool and will enjoy the landscaping around it. And yeah, I actually also ended up, as the very last thing around this pool, I decided to use some of the light ropes that came with Toddler Stuff Pack and just like line up the entire pool with them. And then I took some of the small pool lights as well and I put them on the bottom of the pool, and that's basically all. Like, it's very different from what I usually do, so I felt like I just had to explain it to you guys a little bit and also exactly what I'm doing, because I know that it looked a little bit weird to start out with, but hopefully it's making sense now. And then over in this corner and also the other corner of the backyard, I just went a little bit crazy with the plants again. Your Sims can't actually get to this area, or maybe they can, but they don't really have anything to do in this area, so it's just for decor purposes. They do have a grill area where there's also a bar, so they got that going for them. If they want to sit outside and have like a nice cool cocktail, they can do that. There's a couple of lounge chairs by the pool as well, and there's also a dining table outside so they can sit there and have their grill food. But other than that, not a whole lot of activities here in the backyard. I figured that would be fine considering the pool is taking up so much space, so not a whole lot of activities for the Sims to do, but definitely a lot of landscaping and also a big pool, and I think it's fine. Like, I think your Sims will still be fine, and hopefully they'll appreciate the house or something. So this is the grill area and also the bar area, and I went with the Perfect Patio counters along with the grill from Perfect Patio as well, because it kind of matches the counters, of course. I think I went with the bar from Perfect Patio too, and then the chairs are from Spa Day, I think, and the dining table that I put it under the, like, it's underneath the upper floor of the house, so there's kind of this box that's sticking out of the build just a little bit, and that means there's a roof above the dining table, so they can sit there and eat if they want to. Like, if it's raining or anything, they can still sit outside and eat together without being rained on. Hopefully your Sims will not have some kind of uncomfortable moodlet or whatever, if it even rains in Oasis Springs. I'm not really sure. Like I said, I've only seen it snow like once, so don't really know. But oh yeah, I also decided to take these what's it called, turtle stickers, and put them on the ground here, so it's kind of leading to the pool. I thought that would be so cute, and I sized some of them down as well so they looked like baby turtles, and yeah, I thought that was adorable. But that's about it basically. So if you guys like this house, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it under the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And as always, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Remember to like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye!
Drum snare, buds are bursting, beautiful green. It's like a love scene with waves of flirting. Seasons change. Maybe it's just me and mine, where thunder has had its way, when kindness is portrayed as blind and glitter to the rays. Oh, no need to beg pardon.